Hi there, Zero Sum Game here. I've written myself a little script because of states lifting the mask mandate while we are, still in the middle of things. And, well, handwriting be damned. Misspelled word, whatever. I think I need to speak on the subject of masks. And, I wrote this to keep my mind on track, but I'd prefer to just speak what I think, so I didn't write a whole script or anything. Been having this discussion a lot lately about why masks work, despite all the doubt that, a lot of people want to push. So I've been listening, and I've answered some of these questions adequately, apparently. I don't use sources. I don't chase things down. I just look at the facts and understand them, and I figure some people could use a proper explanation instead of having people just tell them you need to wear the mask, and when someone says why, 'cause you need to, or, people insulting you for being somebody who feels differently than other people. I just want to make a good case, a fair case, and answer 3 questions that a lot of people have about the mask effectiveness, and then give you a reason to wear a mask that isn't shoving it down your throat. So we have 1, the disparity between COVID prevention percentage on people using masks. And that would be, it's 70% effective to keep the COVID from spreading if you have COVID, but it's only 30% effective at keeping it out if you don't. And that makes perfect sense. See, when you breathe in, air is coming from everywhere towards your mouth. All the cracks in the mask, the little holes everywhere around the mask, they don't catch everything. So some of it's going to get through. And you're taking air from everywhere, so some of all the air is getting through. So they're only 30% effective at stopping COVID from getting in. But when you cough and breathe out, the air is coming straight out of your mouth in a cone. So the mask in front of your mouth and nose protects other people from your lung juices. Which brings me to number 2, aerosolization. Big word, means something pretty simple. A spray can, it's got a little tiny nozzle and a lot of pressure and a liquid in the can. Put a lot of pressure behind the liquid and spray it out of a tiny nozzle. It does just that. It sprays. It becomes a lot of little droplets and floats in the air, and some of them are real tiny and they float for a really long time, or some of them are big and they land on surfaces and they stay wet for a few days, which is, why touching things is a great way to pick up COVID if you then stick your finger in your eye or nose or mouth or other orifices. Aerosolization is just your lung juices coming out of the tiny little holes in your lungs all at once in and out of your mouth. Every time you breathe, a little bit is going to come out. When you talk loudly, scream, cough, sneeze, a lot comes out. And that's what aerosolization applies to. That spray. We've seen the videos of what a sneeze looks like in a certain environment where you can see the droplets, and that is aerosolization. It's just your lung juice spraying. That's what it means. And then, of course, the argument about if it doesn't protect against smoke, which is a larger particle than the virus, then how is it supposed to protect me against the virus? because you aren't coughing up individual tiny little virus specks. They're flesh, very, very small amounts of it, but if you cough, you are spraying them at like 100 miles an hour. They are torn to shreds by the force of you coughing if they're exposed. They don't handle dry air well. They're in the droplets. They're in the spray, your lung juices. And the lung juices are much bigger than particles of smoke, which the mask isn't even designed to catch. See, particles of smoke are dry. And a cotton mask with no moisture, it's got nothing for the dry particles to stick to. It's not like a cigarette filter where the fibers are lined up straight, where there's a bunch of nooks and crannies to catch particles in. They're sideways. They're threads with just a little bit hanging off of them. And that little bit catches the droplets. And because of how droplets work, they wrap around something dry and then they get stuck. So, when you're breathing out, a lot of those particles are getting stuck in the mask, going back to 70% effective at preventing you from passing it if you have it and don't know. But then, going in, the mask doesn't have those filters every single place. But it will protect you more than nothing. And that is how, altogether, the mask is 95% effective. And now we have the vaccine coming out. And they're saying the vaccine is 90% effective. So the mask and some hand sanitizer it's going to have 100% more effect. I'm sure my math is wrong somehow, but 90% effective to have the vaccine, or 95% effective to wear the mask and use hand sanitizer. And there's a lot of people who don't want the vaccine. Okay, mask and hand sanitizer's twice as effective. Do that. But a lot of people don't want to. They feel like their rights are being infringed upon. They feel like they're under attack because they're being made to do something. And I get it. I mean, I get the mask mandate. It makes sense. I get the feelings against it. They also make sense. So I want to try and give everyone who doesn't want to wear a mask but thinks that I'm speaking intelligently and being aware and just trying to do my best to communicate. There's my final point. You see, we're under attack. Nature has produced something that is very bad for us. It's going to kill a lot of us. It's going to keep killing us. We are under attack. We have an enemy, and it's not a human. This makes me think of like the Ballad of John Henry. No one ever says the black man who beat a machine. They say the man who beat the machine. Because when it's it versus us, all of us need to unite, stand together, be proud of our accomplishments and our strengths and our progress. We have a tool that's 95% effective at beating this virus. If we all did it, the virus would be gone in a matter of months. All you got to do is remember that it's a war. Put on your armor. Grab your weapon. And bring the fight to the enemy. And that's how we'll beat this virus. That's how we can live without fear. Every person you see a mask is a fellow soldier on the battlefield against humanity's greatest current threat. We can win. This virus won't beat us. We could smash it into submission and use what we learned to beat a few other flus while we're at it. Please wear your mask. I want more allies in this fight, and I want this virus gone. I'm going to work. Y'all have a good day.